I was going over to my mom's house for dinner one night because my parents are divorced. My sibling and I went into the house and saw our mom and her boyfriend sitting on the couch with a gray gift bag with a doll in the side of it in front of them on a coffee table. She asked me if I wanted these old dolls in the bag. My mom used to be a secretary at a school, and a woman came in with 3 dolls in a bag. The lady apparently said to my mom to give them to a family that will never play with the dolls and just use them for decoration. I said that I wanted the dolls because I thought they were pretty. The first doll wore an emerald green dress and a matching hat with a black feather. The other 2 I don't remember much about. All I know is that they had blonde hair, and one of them had an umbrella. After that, we went with our mom and her boyfriend to a nearby pizza place. After we ordered, a small black feather fell onto my empty plate. I quickly brushed it off my plate and looked up at the ceiling, but saw nothing that it could have come from. Later that night, I was back at my dad's house, and me and my sibling were playing with the dolls. I know that the lady said not to play with the dolls, but me and my sibling were pretty young, and we really wanted to play with them. Around midnight, while I was sleeping, I got woken up by my bed, shaking violently. The dolls were next to my bed in the gray bag that I got from my mom. I looked down into the bag at the dolls, and they were all there. I brushed it off as nothing because I was tired, and I went back to sleep. The next day, I went to school early in the morning because I went to the same school that my mom worked at, and we were some of the only people there because she had to open up the school. My mom had me drop off some papers to a classroom. When I got to the classroom that I needed to drop off the papers at, the doorknob of the door that was across for the one I needed to go into started to shake. The doorknob was locked, and it sounded like someone was trying to get into the hallway from the classroom. I quickly dropped off the papers and went back to the office where my mom was. I told her what happened, but she said it was probably nothing. The day after, early in the morning, I told my mom I didn't want the dolls anymore, so we took them to the school that morning and gave them away to a kid of someone that worked at the school. No other occurrences has happened since I gave the dolls away. I am not sure that this is some weird hallucination that my child brain came up with, or something more sinister. If anyone has any explanation of what could have happened, or have had a similar experience to me, please feel free to share in the comments. My niece got a little doll as a gift last year. It was from a family member who has a not-so-good reputation with us. That person has tried to use local witchcraft stuff towards my family in the past. Not that I believe much about it, but it's still family, so my sister accepted it, and we took the doll home. Everything was fine before that in the house. My bedroom is located next to the living room, while the others are a little bit far away, crossing the living room and the hallway. I only come home for holidays. I had been there for a week and everything was normal. I get to hear a lot of noise coming from the upper floor from the neighbors, because my room is directly above their backyard. The night we brought the doll, everything was quiet because it was the day after New Year's. Everybody was sleeping after the celebrations, and I was on my laptop talking to some friends. Suddenly, I hear footsteps right outside my bedroom. It didn't bother me because it could have been my sister's husband. They were heavy footsteps, like boots or men's shoes. It sounded like they were crossing the hallway, then the living room, and finished on the kitchen. Immediately, I heard the water on the kitchen sink running and the sound of dishes being washed. It was odd because it was 1:15 a.m., but it could have been someone washing the baby bottles. I kept on listening. After 5 minutes, I heard my niece's playground being dragged from the hallway where it was kept to the living room. It does a very distinctive noise, and I'm 100% sure that was what I heard. The noise kept going for a good 10 minutes or so. I wrote my sister to find out if everything was fine, but got no response. After that, I kept hearing this footsteps. My dog was very nervous and barked at me when I tried to open the door to check out what was happening, so I stayed in the room. I checked the time. It was 1:43 a.m., and the sounds were still going, until they suddenly stopped. I went to sleep, trying not to think about it. The next morning, my sister calls me on the phone and tells me to get out of my room. I did. I went to the hallway, and my mom, sister, and her husband were there. My sister asked me if I had put my niece's stroller in front of her bedroom door, and if I had moved the playground station. I said no and told them all about the noises. I thought they weren't going to believe me, but it turns out that when my sister came out of her bedroom in the morning, she found the stroller moved. She put it in the right place and went to get the baby bottles and back to the room. After that, her husband got out to drink some water and found the stroller again in front of the door, moved it, and on his way back asked my sister why she had put the stroller in front of the bedroom door. They noticed there was something very weird about the situation, saw my texts from last night, and decided to call me. We started to freak out a bit, and I randomly grabbed the doll that was on the stroller. I noticed a strong smell emanating from it, like dry saliva. It was nauseating. It wasn't there the night before, and nobody had touched the thing. It was still in the gift bag. My sister's husband got scared about that fact and decided to throw away the doll. That night, everything was calmed again.